Hey everybody, it's Karen with Food and Family. We're canning okra today, or okra as we call it in the South. Now, I have been seeing this online and on YouTube, and I'm going to do it today and show you how we do it. You can it in jars, and then you fry it up like you would fresh okra. So I've got some water heating up here. I've got 10.5 cups of water heating, so I'm going to bring it up to a simmer. We're going to add okra. But first I want to show you some of the tomatoes Stephanie and I canned the other day. Isn't that gorgeous? I have 14 quarts sitting here, and Stephanie has like 6 or 8, and that was out of 2 boxes of Roma tomatoes. So we figured we had right around 40 pounds. So that's a pretty good haul. Okay, so, but to these 10.5 cups of water, I am going to add 2 tablespoons of non-iodized salt. You can use plain salt like I'm using, or you can use a canning salt. If you use iodized, it's going to make your water cloudy, and it's just not going to look appetizing. So that's that. And then we've got 1/2 cup of white vinegar. You can also use apple cider vinegar. I had white vinegar, so that's what I'm using today. So let me get a spoon, and I'm going to stir this till I get this salt melted in. And I know I've told you guys so many times not to add salt unless the water's boiling and you have food in it. But we're doing that a little different today. Oh, that looks so beautiful. Okay, now I have a whole bunch of okra that I cut up. And y'all, this is only half of it. I've still got this much more to cut up. But we're sure going to enjoy it this winter, right? Now, I am just going to add quite a bit of this in here. I don't know if I'll add the whole bowl. I'll see. Let's get it in. We got these at the farmer's market, and I've washed them really well. And then I cut them up, and I cut mine into pieces about like that, maybe 1/2 inch. And, no, they're just so good. Now, here in this big pot, let me check this okra. In this big pot, I have my jars sterilizing. I have pint jars. And for me and Pop Jones, pint is plenty big enough. If you have a family or you're feeding more, you can put them up in quarts. Or, you know, in my case, if the family comes over and we want fried okra, I can just open 2 pints. So, you know, now, see what's going to happen. You see how pretty and green this okra is right now. I want to show it to you. When it hits that hot water, you know, it's like with green beans. When it hits that hot water, that vibrant color just comes out. What's going to happen is this color is going to change. See what a pretty green that is right now? And this color is going to change, and it's going to become a dull green color, almost like an olive color. So you want to bring this to a boil, and I'm going to bring it up to a boil, and I want it like a medium low simmer, and I'm going to let this boil for about 6 to 8 minutes. So when it gets done, I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to show you as we start putting it into our jars. And I want to show you how the color has changed. Okay, Our okra has boiled a low boil for 8 minutes. So now I'm ready to put it in my jars. You see my big canner here. I just opted today to put my jars in there, bring them to a boil, covered with water, bring them to a boil so I could sterilize them all at once. Now what I'm going to do carefully, because that is scalding water, is take it out, and I'm going to sit it here in this little plate. So if I spill any, I won't make a mess, okay? So I want to use, everything has been cleaned and sterilized. So I'm going to use my funnel, and I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to use a spoon. In this case, I've got this spatula that's got this slots in it, and I'm going to start scooping my okra into the jar. Now, leave your okra simmering while you do this. So you want to fill it up. You don't have to hard pack it down in there. And just get it packed in there well. See what I did? Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to ladle some of this liquid on top of it. Now, I want to come to this first ring here. And if you want to use your spoon to fill it up and you have juices all at the same time, that's a good way to do it as well. And there we go, just a tad more. Okay, now I'm going to set that over here. Now, using the debubbler, remember we used that the other day on the tomatoes. I'm going to run it down the side of that okra because I want all of that liquid. I don't want any air bubbles, and I want all that liquid settled in the okra. So doing that, I need to put a little bit more liquid. Okay, so I'm going to use, I've got my little pot here with my lids. Now, I've been told and I've heard you don't have to sterilize them. I do. It's just something I've always done. Let me get my rings. Let me get my rings. Okay, so I need to tell you something that I just did wrong. Put that back in the boiling water because I didn't clean off the rim of my jar. Clean it off. That way, if there's anything on that rim, it may not seal. Now, see? You can always correct that. Put my lid on. Put my lid on. These jars are hot, so I'm going to use a towel to hold it. Just hand tighten it. You don't have to crank it down. Now, looky there. We have a jar of okra already done. So let's get another one. Let's do another one while you are still with me. This winter. Now when you get ready to fry it, take it, rinse it really well to get the vinegar taste off of it. I've heard several stories and people say, oh, I didn't like that. Well, they didn't really rinse it well. So what they're not liking is not the okra, it's that vinegar taste. Okay, so I think that's good right there. So I'm going to kind of shake that around a little bit. Let's put that back in here. ladle in some of this liquid. This is going to be so good. But anyway, what I was saying, rinse it really, really well. And then you just, if you use cornmeal or flour, however you do it, and then fry it. That's all there is to it. Debubbler. I don't know if you could see then, but the liquid went down. I had it up just above that rim, and as I did that, the liquid went down. So I'll add just a tad more. Just a tad more. Okay, and don't forget to wipe the jar. Wipe that rim really well. Now you can use vinegar on your cloth, or I'm just using just a wet cloth. Put my lid on. Put my ring. These jars are hot. Now look, I have got 2 beautiful pints of okra so far. Now, so it's going to be a full day of canning for me, but that's okay. You know, it will be so worth it. I think what I'm going to do is July. It's Christmas in July. I'm going to turn on Christmas movies, and I'm going to sit down at the table. And I'm going to cut okra. So I hope y'all will do the same thing. So let me get this finished, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to show you what all I got done, okay? Yep. I got 14 pints, 1 quart, and 1/2 pint, along with 4 small bags of whole okra to put in the freezer so Pop Jones can have boiled okra. Thanks everybody for joining me in my kitchen today. I certainly appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, please like, share, and subscribe, and remember, hit the notification bell so you'll know when we put out our next video. See you soon.